Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Baumgartl speaking, and I'm standing here with Mr. Rikhy yet again, and I welcome you to my video blog. Okay, hello again. Rikhy and I were running into each other a few days ago at the AFib Institute, and as so many times we were talking about Calcutta. We have a special connection to Calcutta. Okay, first of all, Rikhy is an Indian. You were born in India, so naturally you must have visited Calcutta at one time in your life. And I used to live and work in Asia for many, many years. And as part of my business, I had to travel to India on a regular basis. And one of the destinations I had to go to was Calcutta. The first time I visited Calcutta in the late 1980s, and I was overwhelmed. I was flabbergasted. I was blown away. It's a very, very intense place. You have to remember, back then, there was still the Cold War. There was West Germany, no internet. And from one day to the other, I found myself on the streets of Calcutta, and it was the first time ever I have seen a corpse. Yeah. Okay. But a few days back when we met at the AFib Institute, you were talking about an incident you experienced in Calcutta, and it was actually a matter of death and life. And I found the story very, very interesting, very profound. You said something very profound. I don't want to reveal it yet. And so, Rikhy, just enlighten my viewers and tell them the story you told me a few days ago.
All right. I mean, first of all, I have to give some credits to Calcutta and its people. Like you, I visited Calcutta for the first time a little bit earlier than you, in the early 80s. And for us as musicians, playing Indian classical music is a very important city because that's where the instruments are made. Oh. Nowhere else in India they can make instruments of top professional quality. And it's a very cultural city. It's one of the most cultural cities in the world, and definitely in India. But yeah, the story is about an incident that did not take the place in this beautiful cultural season, which starts approximately in October and ends in April. It was during the monsoon. It looked horrible, wet, full of mud. Sometimes you have water coming up to the bonnet of the car. You're scared that you will sink together with the taxi. Anyway, a friend of mine came to Calcutta to buy a sitar. And since he toured abroad, he had some dollars that he wanted to exchange, but not officially, because that was still time with this high taxes and complications. So he wanted to change it on the black market.
In
Calcutta. In Calcutta. But before we went to the market where are all these half official money changers, we were in some music store, and someone, local fellow, started to talk to us and telling that he has some instruments, like some guitars or whatever, but we're classical musicians, so Western instruments, they were of not much interest to us. But my stupid friend did ask him a question. Maybe you know where I could change some money on black. And of course, and he gave him the rate. I still remember, I think he said 18 rupees per dollar. And the course was at that time, I think, like around 14. So it was absolutely absurd. Maybe 15 or something, or 16. 18 was like almost abstract. I said, listen, I don't think it's a good idea. Anyway, so we went and I accompanied my friend, feeling that would be horrible to leave him alone, no? Because maybe that would be the last time I would see him. So we were walking and walking away from this famous Calcutta market. Then we entered an old building from British times, and the staircase, like from a Hitchcock movie, the spiral stair going up and up. First floor, second floor. By the third floor, I said, I'm not going any further.
So you already had a bad feeling.
Oh, I had a bad feeling right from the beginning. And this moment, the young man pulled out what we call the country-made pistol. I mean, something that wouldn't look like it. It was crude. It was what we call the country-made one. And pointed it at my friend and asked for the money. And before I proceed to the more exciting part of the story, must say that that was the end of the friendship. This friendship never survived because my friend said, I don't have the money, he has the money, pointing at me, which was not a very friendly thing to do.
And a very cowardly thing as well. So I think I would have dumped this quote-unquote friend as well. But please continue, Rikhy.
Yes, so that was my moment, the moment we read about, maybe we sometimes think about or speculate, the facing death, basically. And to my surprise, what I read or known from movies is actually true. I've seen in these few seconds, because the time somehow functions a little bit different, I've seen my whole life with incidents from my childhood, like a time-lapse video. The moment when I was droning somewhere on the sea and stuff like that, when I was 4 years old, school, all these things, very fast, in reverse mode, no? And then we had this stupid conversation. I said, I don't have money. Then I spoke, no? I said, I don't have the money. But I didn't say my friend has the money. No, I just said, I do not have any money. I can give you what I have, whatever. And some things were going in my head very strange. I can't recall exactly why. But this idea came, maybe it's my father who was in military, told me some things, maybe movies, but some idea that if I point at the gun, so it will explode, and probably stupid idea.
So Rikhy,
so I stretch my hand.
Let's assume the camera is the gun. Can you just repeat your gesture, what you were doing? Let's assume the camera is the gun. So now point your hand at the imaginary gun.
I also have to add that's what you wanted to hear. So I spoke something, but at the same time there were various thoughts going in my head, and the main one was that I realized that I cannot be killed. I knew at this moment that he can kill my body, but I was not afraid because it was just facing this death at the end of the gun was that I won't die. He can kill my body, but he cannot kill me. So anyway, that caused that I started to be seeing he was a little bit shaky, which was obvious that he can shoot by mistake because he was incredibly nervous, trembling, all that. Okay. So I started to be a little bit aggressive. So and in some moment I realized that he's like at the edge of turning around, and then I moved toward him even more with my hand, and he started to run downstairs. So of course I followed him because I knew he won't have a chance to turn around and shoot me. So I ran after him until we were on the street, and then he disappeared. So that's basically the story, which left everybody a little bit shaken and gave some food for thought, because when this adrenaline went down, I realized what happened, and that very fact that I was not afraid. Actually, I was not afraid of death, which till that moment, I would never imagine, not thinking of myself as somebody particularly brave or fearless or whatever. No, it's just an experience that he can kill my body, whatever, but there was no fear. And there is no fear, I suppose, for good, in this sense. I mean, I wouldn't like to lie down in the hospital for suffering or something till I die for months and things. But death as such is not something too scary, really. It's just click and yeah.
You see, this is something very profound you are saying here. And I remember at our meeting at AFIP, you said, it was a wonderful feeling not to be afraid of death. That's what you said, I remember. And just to make clear to the viewers, Rikhy loves life and I love life. Life on planet Earth is fabulous. It's great. It's wonderful. But you see, sometimes in Western culture, we have the tendency to think that the end of life, and as you grow older, it's being treated like a disease, and actually it's not.
Yeah.
And I know in Asia people are more prone to think, okay, we are just spiritual beings and we live on forever. But I like your story, because through that story you became really aware of that very fact. You are a spiritual being living on forever.
Yeah, definitely it's something different to read, study. My whole life I studied formally at the university philosophy, Indian philosophy, and practice yoga and all kind of spirituality, as can be widely called. But its theory is one thing, but experience is another thing. And here it was very particular experience that definitely affected the rest of my life till this moment now.
Okay, cool, Rikhy. I think we wrap it up here.
Wait. The one thing
you want to add something?
That later on we went to the house of the friends I was staying with, who are from Calcutta, and they were really shocked. And they said, you should have given the money. They kill people for much less than a few $100s. And those people mean business. So that was a big mistake that you even resisted for a moment. They would have killed you.
And Rikhy, I think this was also the time in the late 80s, or maybe during the 80s, where you had these communist rebels, trying to overthrow the government. Right?
Yeah, there was a lot of... I heard the shootings. First time when I came to Calcutta, I think it was a few years earlier, like in '83 or something. And at night, the very night I arrived, I had shooting. It was, it's normal, some fight is going on, some one party against the other. So meanwhile, Calcutta became very different, and this is all gone. It became quite clean for Indian standards, and well, the communists still ruling, but they compromised, and well, this is maybe more Chinese-style communists. They compromised with the capital, and so it is all what you call in German Fassade.
Just to say, Calcutta is located in the Indian state of West Bengal, and West Bengal has had a communist government ever since, I think, Indian independence. Is that right? Correct me, Rikhy, if I'm wrong.
Yeah. I mean, communists, it's also, the sort of communists you had in East Germany, including that, Jyoti Basu, who was in my days the first secretary, talking about the workers' class and all that, but he had only the bungalow only with 2 floors, but even to this 1 floor he had an elevator. While people living like dogs on the street. So, that's kind of communist, East Germany style.
Okay, Rikhy, I think now we wrap it up. I want to say something important. Rikhy and I have decided to make this a regular format on my video blog. and I've already come up with a name of it with this format. We will call it At the Shore of the Spiritual Ocean.
Wow.
We cover spiritual matters. And so anyway, if you like videos like that, probably you give a thumb up or subscribe to my channel. Anyway, I thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And for today, Rikhy says goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
And also me, Ralf Baumgartl, signing off. I see you next time. Bye bye.